the best driver you think you drove with?
And it has to be Verstappen.
Nico Rosberg just hinted that Max might retire much sooner than anyone expected. With 4 titles in, is the end closer than we think? To fully understand the weight of Rosberg's words, we must first examine his own unique journey in Formula One. Nico Rosberg, son of 1982 world champion Keke Rosberg, had a successful career in F1 spanning from 2006 to 2016. The pinnacle of his career came in 2016 when he clinched the World Drivers' Championship with Mercedes, narrowly defeating his teammate and rival Lewis Hamilton.
I'm following my heart, and that's the direction that is giving me. I've achieved my childhood dream, and I'm here to take the trophy, which is going to be a very, very special moment. Nice to share that with Vivian also here. The dream is achieved, it's done, mission accomplished. And it was very, very tough, because to beat Lewis, I had to throw everything at it, so it was a really tough time, and I'm not willing to put that sacrifice into it again next year. So
what made Rosberg's championship victory even more remarkable was what followed. Just 5 days after securing his first world title, Rosberg shocked the F1 community by announcing his immediate retirement from the sport at the age of 31. This decision was unprecedented in modern Formula One, as most champions typically aim to defend their title or continue racing for several more years. In an interview with the Italian publication Gazzetta dello Sport, Rosberg was asked about the possibility of Verstappen retiring early from Formula One. His response was both open and thought-provoking. He said, "It's possible. Max has already achieved so much despite his young age. The intensity of Formula One leaves a mark on you, both mentally and physically. If he feels he has achieved what he set out to do, and he wants more out of life, I would understand his choice." This statement from Rosberg is particularly impactful when we consider Verstappen's current situation in Formula One. At 27 years old, Verstappen has already accumulated an impressive list of achievements. He's a 4-time world champion, has 63 race victories to his name, and sits third on the all-time list of race winners in Formula One history. His current contract with Red Bull Racing runs until the end of the 2028 season, at which point he will be 31 years old, the same age Rosberg was when he retired. Verstappen's rapid ascent to the top of Formula One has been nothing short of remarkable. He became the youngest driver to compete in F1 when he made his debut in 2015 at the age of 17. In 2016, he became the youngest race winner in F1 history when he won the Spanish Grand Prix on his debut for Red Bull Racing. Since then, he has consistently proven himself as one of the most naturally talented drivers on the grid. However, there are several factors that lend credence to Rosberg's suggestion that Verstappen might consider early retirement. Firstly, Verstappen has repeatedly stated that he does not see himself racing in Formula One into his 40s, unlike some of his contemporaries such as Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. In various interviews, he has expressed a desire for a life beyond F1, indicating that he views his time in the sport as finite. Has also shown in other forms of. He's known to enjoy and has expressed interest in and Le Mans prototype cars. This diverse interest in different racing disciplines suggests that Verstappen's passion for motorsport extends beyond the confines of Formula One. Moreover, Verstappen has been vocal about his discomfort with certain aspects of modern Formula One. He has criticized the increasing number of races on the F1 calendar, expressing concern about the toll it takes on drivers and teams. Verstappen has also been critical of some of the directions F1 is taking, particularly regarding sprint races and the increasing number of street circuits. He values the traditional aspects of the sport and has expressed frustration with changes that he feels detract from the core of Formula One racing. The parallels between Rosberg's mindset in 2016 and Verstappen's current situation are striking. Both achieved their childhood dreams of becoming Formula One world champions at a relatively young age. Both have shown a desire for life beyond the sport and an awareness of the toll that F1 can take on a driver's personal life. Reflecting on his own decision to retire, Rosberg said, "No, I have no regrets. I realized my dream of becoming world champion, and I wanted to leave at the peak of my career. By retiring, I was able to spend more time with my family and start my career as an investor. I did what I felt was right for me." This sentiment echoes some of Verstappen's own statements about his future. The Dutch driver has consistently maintained that his happiness and enjoyment of the sport are paramount to his decision to continue racing. In 2023, he stated, "I don't see myself spending 3 years in the midfield. I'd rather stay home or do something else. But again, I don't see that RB not delivering happening." Red Bull Racing, Verstappen's current team, is acutely aware of the unique personality and interests of their star driver. Team principal Christian Horner has provided insightful comments on Verstappen's approach to his F1 career. In a recent interview, Horner said, "Honestly, Max is his own man, and from the conversations I've had, it's clear he doesn't see himself as a Fernando or Lewis and being around the sport for the next 15 years or so." Horner further elaborated Verstappen's interests outside of F1. He's got interests outside of Formula One. He enjoys driving GT cars. He enjoys driving simulators. He enjoys driving LMP cars. And there are certain things that he's very old school about in many respects. Some of the noise and circus around Formula One doesn't sit comfortably with him, and so long as he is getting enjoyment out of what he does, he'll do it. This statement from Horner underscores the importance of enjoyment in Verstappen's decision-making process. Horner emphasized this point further, saying, "As soon as that enjoyment drops, he's got the strength of character and personality to say, 'Do you know what? I'm going to go and drive GTs next year.' He's unique in that Formula One doesn't define him. He enjoys and loves it, but as soon as that enjoyment dips, he would go and do something else." The prospect of Verstappen retiring early from Formula One must be considered within the broader context of changing perspectives on career longevity in the sport. While we have examples of drivers like Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso continuing to race competitively into their 40s, there's a growing recognition that such extended careers may not be the norm for future generations of drivers. The demands of modern Formula One are intense. The calendar has expanded to a record 24 races in 2023, with additional sprint races and media commitments adding to the workload of drivers. The physical and mental toll of competing at the highest level of motorsport for extended periods is significant, and it's understandable that some drivers might choose to prioritize other aspects of their lives after achieving their primary goals in the sport. If Verstappen were to retire early, the impact on Formula One would be seismic. Red Bull Racing would need to completely reassess their future plans. The team has built much of its current success around Verstappen's exceptional talents, and finding a replacement of similar caliber would be a monumental task. The competitive landscape of Formula One would also be dramatically altered. Verstappen's presence on the grid has been a driving force in the sport's recent popularity boom, particularly in the Netherlands and among younger fans. His battles with Lewis Hamilton in 2021 and his dominant performances in subsequent seasons have been central to many of F1's most compelling narratives. However, it's important to note that Verstappen's potential early retirement is still speculative at this point. While Rosberg's comments and Verstappen's own statements suggest it's a possibility, there are also factors that could motivate him to continue in Formula One for years to come. One such factor is the upcoming change in Formula One regulations set for 2026. This major overhaul of the sport's technical rules, including significant changes to the power units, could present a new challenge that Verstappen might find enticing. Red Bull Racing is developing its own power unit for 2026 in partnership with Ford, which could provide Verstappen with a unique opportunity to be part of a new chapter in the team's history. Additionally, while Verstappen has achieved a great deal already, there are still records within his reach that might tempt him to extend his F1 career. Lewis Hamilton's records of 7 world championships and 105 race wins are not insurmountable given Verstappen's current trajectory, and the allure of becoming statistically the greatest driver in F1 history might prove too strong to resist. We should also consider the financial aspect. Formula One drivers are among the highest-paid athletes in the world, and Verstappen's current contract with Red Bull is reported to be one of the most lucrative in the sport's history. While Verstappen has never indicated that money is a primary motivator for him, the financial security provided by a long F1 career could be a factor in his decision-making process. You might think Max Verstappen is the highest-paid driver in Formula One, but that's no longer the case. A stunning shift has completely reshaped the financial hierarchy of the sport, leaving everyone surprised. Lewis Hamilton has taken the top spot with a potential $100 million annual salary. So what exactly is going on here? To fully appreciate the magnitude of this event, we must first understand how Formula One driver salaries operate. Unlike many other sports, F1 does not impose a salary cap on driver earnings. This means teams are free to compensate their drivers as they see fit, limited only by their own financial resources and willingness to invest in talent. In recent years, we've witnessed a notable trend of increasing driver salaries, reflecting the growing global popularity of the sport and the immense value top drivers bring to their teams. Let's examine the numbers that set the stage for this dramatic turn of events. In 2024, Max Verstappen held the crown as Formula One's highest-paid driver. The Dutch phenom, fresh off his fourth consecutive world championship, commanded an eye-watering salary package from Red Bull Racing. Breaking it down, Verstappen's earnings consisted of a $60 million base salary, supplemented by an additional $15 million in performance-related bonuses. This brought his total compensation for the 2024 season to a staggering $75 million. How did Lewis Hamilton's earnings compare during his final year with Mercedes? The British driver, widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time, found himself in the unfamiliar position of second place on the salary charts. Hamilton's 2024 Mercedes contract provided him with a base salary of $55 million, with a relatively modest $2 million in bonuses. This brought his total earnings for the year to $57 million, still an enormous sum, but notably behind Verstappen's package. The balance of power shifted dramatically when Hamilton announced his shocking move to Ferrari for the 2025 season. This transfer, described by many as the biggest driver move in F1 history, immediately sparked intense speculation about the financial terms of the deal. How much would the legendary Scuderia be willing to pay to secure the services of the sport's most successful driver? As news of the transfer broke, Ferrari's stock prices experienced a noticeable uptick, highlighting the immediate commercial impact of Hamilton's star power. But it was the salary figures that truly captured the imagination of fans and experts alike. According to reports from the highly respected Forbes magazine, Hamilton's Ferrari contract is set to catapult him back to the top of F1's earning charts, surpassing even Verstappen's record-setting deal. While exact figures remain unconfirmed, Forbes estimates that Hamilton's base salary at Ferrari will exceed $75 million per year. When factoring in potential bonuses, image rights, and other commercial arrangements, some sources suggest that Hamilton's total annual earnings could reach an unprecedented $100 million. If these projections prove accurate, it would represent the largest driver salary package in Formula One history. To put this into perspective, let's break down the reported structure of Hamilton's Ferrari contract. His base salary is estimated to be over $75 million per year. Performance bonuses could potentially worth tens of millions of dollars. Image rights and commercial agreements could push total earnings to around $100 million annually. Contract duration is of initial 2-year deal, with an option for a third season in 2027. It's important to note that these figures are based on reports and estimates from reputable sources, but the exact details of Hamilton's contract remain confidential. The question naturally arises: why would Ferrari be willing to invest such an astronomical sum in a driver who will be 40 years old at the start of the 2025 season? The answer lies in a combination of factors that make Lewis Hamilton a uniquely valuable asset. First and foremost is Hamilton's unparalleled track record of success. With 7 world championships, over 100 race wins, and more pole positions than any driver in history, Hamilton brings a wealth of experience and proven ability to deliver results. Ferrari, a team that hasn't won a driver's championship since 2007 with Kimi Räikkönen, is desperate to return to the top step of the podium. They clearly believe Hamilton is the man to lead that charge. Secondly, Hamilton's global popularity and marketability extend far beyond the racetrack. He has become a cultural icon, using his platform to advocate for social causes and attracting a diverse fan base that reaches well beyond traditional motorsport audiences. For Ferrari, signing Hamilton isn't just about on-track performance. It's a major coup in terms of brand exposure and commercial opportunities. The potential financial benefits for Ferrari are substantial. Hamilton's arrival is expected to boost merchandise sales, increase sponsorship revenue, and potentially even impact the value of Ferrari's road car business. When viewed through this lens, the enormous salary begins to look more like a strategic investment than a simple expense. To fully grasp the impact of Hamilton's new salary, it's essential to compare it to other top earners in Formula One. Let's examine some of the highest-paid drivers and their recent contract developments. Lando Norris recently saw his salary increase to around $35 million per year. Norris's new contract, signed in January 2024, locks him in with McLaren until the end of the 2028 season, with an option to extend into 2029. His base salary is reported to be £9.5 million, with potential bonuses pushing his total earnings to £27.5 million annually. Hamilton's new teammate, Charles Leclerc, signed a contract extension in January 2024, keeping him with Ferrari until the end of 2029. Leclerc's new deal is reported to be worth £25 million per year, with bonuses potentially increasing that to £29 million. The two-time world champion Fernando Alonso signed a new contract with Aston Martin in April 2024, committing to the team until at least the end of 2026. Alonso's base salary is reported to be £19 million, with potential bonuses adding another £3 million. With Hamilton's departure, George Russell became the de facto team leader at Mercedes. His current contract, running until the end of 2025, is worth £12 million per year, with bonuses potentially increasing that to £18 million. Oscar Piastri signed an improved contract in September 2023, sees him earn £4.5 million per year, with potential bonuses pushing that figure to £17.5 million. These figures highlight just how far ahead Hamilton and Verstappen are in terms of driver compensation, and how Hamilton's new Ferrari deal is set to push the boundaries even further. Hamilton's mega deal with Ferrari is likely to have far-reaching consequences for the Formula One landscape. It represents a significant shift in the financial power dynamics of the sport, potentially setting a new benchmark for what top drivers can command in salary negotiations. We may see other leading drivers using Hamilton's contract as leverage in their own discussions with teams, potentially driving salaries even higher across the board. It's worth noting that F1 drivers' salaries are now beginning to rival those of top athletes in other sports. While they haven't quite reached the stratospheric levels of soccer superstars like Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi, who command salaries of $285 million and $135 million per year, the gap is narrowing. The total combined salaries of the top 10 F1 drivers in 2024 reached $317 million, a figure that's likely to increase further in 2025 with Hamilton's new deal. As Hamilton prepares to don the famous red overalls of Ferrari, expectations for the 2025 season are sky high. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur has made it clear that the team believes they can challenge for the title with Hamilton and Leclerc at the wheel. In a recent interview with Sky F1, Vasseur stated, "Yeah, if you have a look at this season, 2024, I think Charles scored the biggest number of points after Monza or something like this when we started to react and started to do a better job on our side. It means that everything is possible. It's just a matter to put everything together to minimize the number of mistakes. It's true that on this season, the long season, 24 events that we have always up and down. But what is positive for us is that we had a tough journey around June, July, and as a team, we were able to react and to react quickly, and this is encouraging." The Ferrari team principal also recognizes that success in 2025 will require flawless execution. "It's true that we did a good 2024 season, at least much better than 2023. Racing is going in the right direction and reliability, pit stop, strategy, number of points scored during the season, something like plus 60%, number of wins. We are going on the right direction. But the most important is the last step, and we missed the title for 14 points. It's not in Abu Dhabi that we missed something. I think it's much before, and if you want to fight next year for the championship, you have to do everything perfect."